every couple of days, about twice a week, I get these surveys, what they call candidate surveys. And I get them by email or I get them by snail mail. And basically they're lobbying organizations that are trying to decide whether or not they want to support or endorse or oppose a particular candidate. And I've gotten them from all kinds of different organizations. I've gotten them from the North Carolina Association of Educators. I've gotten them from the AFL-CIO. And then, of course, here's my favorite. The National Rifle Association, the NRA. And theirs is really impressive. Let's see, it's pretty thick. You think they could afford a stamp, huh? And this one has some great questions, but I think we can just get started on question number one. Question number one. Do you agree that the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees a fundamental individual right to keep and bear arms that applies to all law-abiding Americans, regardless of where they live in the United States? Well, that pretty much sums up what they're asking us, huh? Number two is, do you support state legislation banning the manufacture, possession, ownership, purchase, sale, and or transfer of any firearm? Well, it doesn't give you a lot of room for flexibility there, does it? Number four, do you support state legislation requiring individuals to obtain a state license to own, possess, or purchase firearms? And then they go on to say, as a general rule, firearm owner licensing laws require fingerprinting, photographing, and a background investigation of the applicant. So it's made to sound really, really horrific. Question 6. Would you support state legislation to require a background check on every sale or transfer of rifles or shotguns, even between private individuals or family members? So-called universal background checks. This thing goes on for a while. I probably shouldn't bore you with all of these. But here's just another one. Let's see. Would you support, quote unquote, employee protection legislation that would allow law-abiding citizens to keep lawfully transported firearms locked in their personal vehicles while parked on publicly accessible, privately owned parking lots? Would you support legislation repealing the North Carolina permit to purchase and replace it with a more efficient, quote, instant check system? And this one, I know I need to look something up here. Number 13, lucky 13. Would you support state legislation requiring locking devices or other locking procedures for firearms when stored in the home? And then this one talks, one of your options for answering is, no, I would not support such legislation and would instead support a resolution encouraging North Carolina public schools to adopt the NRA's Eddie Eagle gun safe, which has a registered trademark. I have to admit I haven't looked that up yet, but I will as soon as I'm done with this. And this is accident prevention program as part of their curriculum. You guys should look it up too. I will definitely look it up when we're done and maybe post something else about it. There is the NRA's questionnaire, and I won't be turning this in because I don't think they're going to like any of my answers. So just thought I'd let you guys see a little bit about what it's like to be running for office. This is what I call campaigning can be fun. And stay tuned for more. Thanks.